never even played this outro. I don't understand. Are those green hammer-ons after a chord? Does that ever happen? Also, did I just throw a tick somewhere? Yeah, I did. Motherfucker. matter. Please tell me. I saw the 90. Hopefully this just rounds out. Okay, cool. Really sucks having to do another run for a tick, but thankfully these first two acts are... I mean, the first one is the tiniest bit concerning, I guess, but the second one is completely free, so it's not the end of the world that I had to do another run. So this is the first time this has been gotten on PS2, but this is basically tied with Smoky's score. He got the Nearly Ideal on 360. Looks like the first act is the only thing that's changed on there, but I'm pretty sure it's the same kind of thing. So yeah, for all intents and purposes, I consider this a tied first. Last act seemed like I may have had a couple frames of leniency on, but to get ticks, you need to get like 5 to 6 frames into the note from my TAS. There's 2 total frames of tick potential on that, but the activation window is 7 frames wide, so you have to get pretty much perfect whammy and perfect extended hit window front end to get ticks on that, which is why I cared about going back and getting this tick. The second act double is possible, and it is something that I think is fairly realistic. Honestly, the biggest problem with it is that it's so far into the song. That's really the worst thing about this song in its entirety, is that especially the last act, I mean, God, this is basically at the very end of this like 5-minute or so song, and it's basically the only act that most people are really going for, whether it's going for this Nearly Ideal squeeze or ticks on the Baker squeeze path. Anyway, sorry for interrupting myself. The second act double squeeze is a 4-frame window, but it has 2 whammies on it, so it's actually the same stats as the Girlfriend second act, which I just did yesterday, and I mean, man, like that activation was a really big pain in and of itself, and that's like basically the beginning of the song. Having to wait like 3 minutes or so to get to it, ugh, man, that does not sound fun. On top of that, one of the whammies is a Hopo whammy, which are just harder, and on top of that, to make that squeeze really worth going for, I mean, I guess you could beat this score probably by, well, actually, I don't know. I mean, I was gonna say you could beat this by ticks, and you actually probably could with like a really good last act, but basically what I'm getting at is to make the second act really worthwhile, you have to pair it with this last act, and that is a really tall task. Not that this act is like really that bad in and of itself, it's just again the fact that it's at the end of the song, and having all those nerves from the second act would just, man, that would be 510 would be an incredible score. First act double is also possible, but it is a 2-frame window, and with 3 whammies on it, I mean, that's not something I'm looking to go for, and it's only 200, so it's the least valuable and the hardest. The other reason I wasn't super put off by doing this again to make up that last tick is because someday I might really want to go for that 510, and to make that realistic, I'm gonna need to be, or whoever is going to go for that is gonna need to be really consistent with this last act. So anyway, cool. I always kind of hate going for these tied first scores, but it's inevitable, you'll run into them. Again, potential to be beaten, but that is a huge leap in difficulty from just getting the last act. Shoutouts to Smoky for getting this last act first and not dropping ticks like I did. Extra impressive.